Chapter 100 to 104. Phobio is in a half-dead state, lying on the ground in front of me. On his chest is a gross pulsing tumor-like thing. That thing is Charybdis. Rimuru, gluttony. I activate my ultimate skill and consume Phobio. Ilya, who is back in Avalon, messages me through thought communication. Ilya, I've received him, me. Charybdis is over 90% fused with Phobio, but it should be easy to separate them. Rimuru, thank you. Just send him back when you're done. Although Ilya is unable to use some of my skills to their full potential when not fused with me, she can use some more passive aspects of those skills, such as gluttony, stomach. It's kind of like a shared inventory space between both of us. And so, after consuming Phobio with gluttony, Ilya can immediately begin separating the two even if she is halfway across the world. Ilya, I'm done. Rimuru, barely 5 seconds passed though. I unintentionally speak my thoughts out loud. Is it supposed to be this quick? Ilya, Oniai-chan, I am a Manas. Something like this is a matter of course. Touché. After thanking Ilya one more, I end the conversation and spit Phobio back out from my stomach. It sounds gross, but it's much less unsettling if I do it in my slime form, or at least transform a part of my body into a slime. If I did it in my human form, I don't want to think about it, thank you. Let's move on. On the ground is a brand spanking new Phobio, still unconscious on the ground but quickly waking up. The Charybdis part is isolated in my stomach for later. I want to absorb its skills, but not now. Phobio, ugh. Seeing that Phobio is about to wake up, I ponder for a bit. Rimuru, should I take this chance to mess with him? But then I think. Rimuru, why I'm even asking. And so I invoke Scathack to produce a set of runes. I quickly write those runes in the air using my magicules before flicking them into Phobio's head. Phobio, where am I? What happened? Phobio holds his head as he wearily opens his eyes and looks around. What he sees is a pure white space that stretches on infinitely. He continues to look around aimlessly, wondering where he is. It's a bit amusing, but I think it's time to move to the next part. Rimuru, hello, my child. Welcome to heaven. Hearing a voice, Phobio snaps his head around in my direction, lowering his body and getting ready for a fight. Phobio, where am I? And who, or rather, what are you? Phobio begins talking with a confidence voice, now wanting to show any weakness. However, he quickly realizes something's wrong when he realizes that the person he is looking at is a pure white figure made completely out of light. It's not a glaring light, but a light that is gentle on your eyes. However, this light veils any physical traits, only revealing my humanoid figure. Everything else is obscured. Well, this is all just in his head. In fact, we're still in the forest and I'm not actively hiding my identity at all. It's because of the rune sequence I flicked into Phobio's head, it projects an illusion in his mind. Hearing his question, I smile. He can't see it, fuck you, I don't care. Rimuru, me? Well, I guess you can call me God. I'm sure you all know where I'm going with this now. Rimuru, as for you, you have died. Phobio, God? I died? What kind of bullshit are you spitting now? Of course, he didn't accept it. It's to be expected, he isn't cultured like the rest of my kind. Rimuru, whether you believe me or not is completely up to you. But you should calm down and think. What do you remember doing last? Hearing my voice that contains both compassion and authority, Phobio decides to heed my advice and begins to think. Phobio, I remember, making a campfire in the middle of the day. I still never found out why they did that. Phobio, then two masked magen appeared. Charybdis. Rimuru. Oh no, what have I done? Phobio eventually recalls his moments as Charybdis. But I had Ilya fiddle with his memories a bit so he only remembers the events as they should have in canon, instead of his several deaths and revivals for our training. Rimuru, it's okay. You've had a tough life. But it's fine now. Phobio, what? No. I have to go back. I need to report back to Karien-sama. I also have to apologize to that slime. Rimuru, shoo. I understand, you must be really tired. Phobio, listen to me. Rimuru, you're gonna go to heaven and you'll be able to watch the clouds for all eternity. Phobio, I don't want to watch any clouds, god damn it. Rimuru, then you can reincarnate into another world with some wishes. Phobio, send me back. Rimuru, I place a finger over my lips and hum to myself, making it seem like I'm thinking. Fobayo knows I'm the one in control here, so he doesn't speak out and patiently waits. It seems he really has gotten smarter. What a fearsome thing Makoto's lightning is. Rimuru. Well, let's talk in my office. I'll see what I can do. A door appears to my right. I walk over and grasp its handle, twisting it and opening it. A veil of darkness hides the room on the other side, make it so you are unable to look in. I stand to the side and gesture inwards. Rimuru, after you. Fobayo hesitates for a moment before he walks up to the door and steps through. I close the door after him, not bothering to follow. Inside, you can hear some muffled voices and music. Never give you up. Never let you down. Never gonna around and you. Fobayo ahhhhhhh. A heart-wrenching scream echoes out from within the door. I just nod my head and snap my fingers, dispelling the illusion. A few meters away, I find an unconscious Fobayo sprawled on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Later. Fobayo auh. With a gasp, Fobayo shoots up into a sitting position, breathing heavily and looking around with fearful eyes. Seeing that he's not in a white space, he breathes a sigh of relief. Rimuru, hey, you. You're finally awake. Realizing he's not alone, he snaps his head towards me. Seeing that I'm not a being made of light, he relaxes. Rimuru, so basically you turned into Charybdis and tried to destroy Avalon, but I beat your ass, so yeah. A simple explanation jogged Fobayo's memories, causing him to jump up before smashing his head into the ground in a kowtow. Fobayo, I'm sorry. Rimuru, apology accepted. Fobayo, I know you won't forgive me so easily, but I've done this out of my own violation. Karien-sama had nothing to do with tea, eh? You'll forgive me? Rimuru, haha. Trust me, what you pulled wasn't anything serious. Although I would like a favor from you. Fobayo, anything. Rimuru, great. Stand up with your legs apart. With a disarming grin that could match Uncle Iroh, I speak out my condition to an unsuspecting Fobayo. Crack. That day, Gabble and Vesta gained a new comrade. A full potion and a memory-wiping rune talisman later, I sent Fobayo on his way. A few days later. So yeah, the Charybdis issue is now over and barely any fuss was made about it. No threat about several countries ending, no Dryads doing everything in their power to hold Charybdis back to give me time to prepare, no calling Dworgen and asking for help. It ended without any drama. Fobayo immediately left to return to Karien's side. I mean, I could have killed him, but I didn't see the need to. I already taught him a lesson by destroying his manhood, and although it's restored via full potion, there's no chance for any descendants. May you rest in peace. I also wouldn't mind if you rested in general discomfort, but I digress. Plus, killing him would make Karien angry, and although I can deal with him easy, I'm not some cultivator protag that goes around provoking people needlessly just for my pride. In any case, right now I'm just lazing around in my home. I'm sitting on the couch, my right hand holding some god food and my left holding a nice cup of coffee. Ilya is sitting on the couch next to me, staring at me with squinted eyes. I wonder if I did anything wrong recently. Meh, too many things to count. Rimuru asterisk sip asterisk. Ilya. Rimuru asterisk nibble 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 asterisk. Ilya. Rimuru, I forgot about the piece of Charybdis in my stomach. Ilya, I knew it. Ilya separated the fused Fobayo and Charybdis, but I ended up just chucking the Charybdis part into a random corner of my stomach. Does my stomach even have corners? And totally forgot about it. For some reason, I only remembered it now, nearly a week later. Rimuru asterisk sigh asterisk, please integrate it, Ilya. Sighing at my sheer stupidity that is corroding my memory capability, I ask Ilya to take care of it for me. I mean, it's not like I know what to do. Snap. With a snap of her fingers, the piece of Charybdis inside my gluttony stomach disappears and the voice of the world popped into my head after a small delay. Extra skills, magic interference, and gravity flight has been obtained. Tolerance skill, resist magic, has also been obtained. Extra skill, magic interference, has fused with extra skill, control particles, resulting in extra skill, control magic. Extra skill, gravity flight, has evolved into extra skill, control gravity. Skill, resist magic, has been fused with resist holy attack, resulting in skill, resist holy/demonic attack. Rimuru asterisk whistling asterisk, you did all that with a snap of your fingers? Ilya WL, it wasn't anything troublesome. Ilya is trying to hide that smug smile of hers, but she's failing miserably at that. I just smile warmly at her. She's so adorable. Control gravity is pretty simple, it just lets me control gravity by using magicules. I can already do something like that with spatial ruler. Control magic is a bit more complicated, however. It lets me control magicules. Fucking brilliant, I know, but bear with me. This skill lets me control magicules, but those magicules don't have to be mine. Say someone fires a magic spell at me, I can use control magic and hijack the spell. Unfortunately, this doesn't work on magicules inside a target and has to be outside the body for me to affect. It also comes with innate full control of one's own magicules, but Ilya, heavens feel, already granted me full control over them, even more so now that it evolved into Manus, Ilya's feel. All in all, I don't think I'll use them, but they're nice to have. I finish drinking my coffee and stuff the rest of the meat bun into my mouth. Thump thump thump, thump, bang. Suddenly Mikoto slams open the front door, seemingly dragging something on the floor behind her. Mikoto Rimuru. Rimuru MMM? I turn to face her, my mouth still chewing the meat bun. Mikoto holds up the thing she was dragging in front of her. Mikoto, do you know anything about this? I take a closer look at the thing she is holding. Or rather, it's not a thing, it's a humanoid figure. A male, it seems. The figure is wearing rather noblish attire, the overall feel being kind of dark. His hair is pitch black, but there is a trace of red and a hint of yellow as well. His face is angled nicely, and he seems handsome. If there's something that attracts my attention more than anything, however, it's his eyes. The scara of his eyes is pitch black, while his iris is blood red. I swallow the meat bun and open my mouth. Rimuru, hey. Hello. The man replies politely with the same calm smile he always had, even if it does look a bit comedic seeing him being held up in the air by his collar by a teenage girl. He seems a little familiar. I place my finger on my chin and think. Isn't this guy Diablo? Well, his name should be Noir at this point in time, but that's not the point. I look at Mikoto with an extremely surprised face. Rimuru, where did you find him? And why are you holding a primordial demon by the scruff of his neck? Mikoto, I don't know. He just suddenly appeared in front of me, saying he wanted to meet you, but his aura is a bit creepy, so. Mikoto calms down a bit while explaining what happened. Rimuru sigh asterisk. I sigh while rubbing the bridge of my nose. I look up at Mikoto and open my mouth again. Rimuru, right, well this guy is a demon, so that explains his creepy aura, but I don't know how he got here. He's not hostile or anything, so you don't need to get rid of him. But I didn't have anything to do with this guy, so. Mikoto, it's gotta be Shizu. It's always Shizu. Both of us have exasperated expressions on our faces. Ilya glances between Mikoto, Diablo, and I, choosing not to say anything. I snap my fingers, using spatial ruler, to teleport a certain troublesome hellcat to my location. Shizu Naya. With a meow, Shizu appears on my lap, lazily blinking her eyes. It seems she was just sleeping. Rimuru Shizu. I point to Diablo, he isn't named yet, as Mikoto does the same and we both speak at the same time. Mikoto/Rimuru, what the hell is this? Shizu takes a moment to look at Diablo and think about where she saw him before a look of realization dawns on her feline face and she decides to explain. Shizu, I summoned him. Rimuru, we know. Mikoto, we want to know why you summoned him. Shizu, well, I was in the middle of another ritual, but Rimuru interrupted me, and this guy popped out as a consequence. What ritual? Oh, was it that ritual? What the hell was she even doing there? It was the weirdest ritual she has ever done to this date. Why did she need those bananas? Rimuru, I think I remember. And? You must have sacrificed something, especially to summon someone of his caliber. What did you use? I mean, Rimuru used the bodies of around 10,000 humans, albeit deceased and soulless, to summon him. I don't even want to think of what Shizu used. Shizu, I used your holy artifact. Crack. Hearing that, my soul cracks a bit and my mind went blank. I slide off the couch onto my knees in an oars position as despair clouds my mind. Rimuru, no, not that, anything but that. Mikoto, seeing my pitiful state, puts Diablo down onto his feet and walks up to me to comfort me with a dejected expression, as if seeing me in this condition hurts her as well. Meanwhile, Ilya is looking at me with blank, judging eyes, but I don't register any of this entirely. Rimuru, my holy artifact. Mikoto's pantsu. Mikoto immediately freezes in her tracks as her expression becomes shadowed over by her hair. Her lips are twitching and you can see a vein pop on her forehead. Spark. Ashit.jpg. Feeling that this is no time to mourn, I jump up and proceed to immediately utilize the Joestar secret technique to its limits. Mikoto, get back here. Mikoto shouts out from behind me, and I hear lightning hit several places around me, barely missing each time. I don't stop running for the rest of the day. Omake, how to summon a demon. In a dark room, Shizu is in the middle of a ritual. She is walking on along the edge of a round table. In the center is a bunch of bananas, slowly turning around. Shizu, bananas. Rotati. The rotating bananas don't change speeds. Shizu, banana. Still no change in speeds. Shizu, rotato faster banana. The bananas have a slight increase in speed, but Shizu notices it. Shizu, go. Go. The bananas begin to pick up speed. Shizu, can you feel it? BAN and BA? The bananas spin faster and faster. Shizu, yes, feel THE sped. Finally, the bananas spin so fast that they become a blur. Shizu, we HAV reached Zaman velocity. Shizu takes out a box and opens it. Inside it, there is a pair of teddy bear panties. She takes the panties out of the box and throws them at the bananas, to which they are immediately consumed by red magical lightning. Creak. Rimuru cracks open the door a bit to peek in. Rimuru, are you okay? Shizu, who are you to accuse me? Rimuru gets chased out by Shizu. Unfortunately, due to the disruption, the ritual failed and instead a certain primordial demon was summoned. Omake end. The next day. I look at the demon in front of me with my arms crossed in front of my chest. The demon stands there with that exact same calm smile on his face with his eyes closed, simply waiting for me to speak first. Now, what do I do with this guy? I wasn't expecting him to pop up anytime soon and I have no idea what to do with him. I don't want to just have him wander around doing nothing, and I just stay in my house all day unlike OG Rimuru, so I don't need a secretary. Sigh. I don't want to deal with this, I'll just leave it to future Rimuru. In any case. Rimuru, for starters, you want to work for me? I would love to. He lowers his head forward slightly as he accepts. Wow, that easy? I don't remember much, but I think this guy was watching me ever since human Shizu came to Avalon. Something to do with her anti-magic mask attracting his attention. Meh, I can't be fucked. In any case, personalities don't seem to have much difference in this alternate universe, at least from my experience. If that's the case, I guess I can trust Mr. Noir here. Rimuru, then your name will be Diablo. You can be. Hi, future Rimuru here, fuck you past Rimuru. Where do I put this guy? Hold on, I don't need a secretary, but... Rimuru, my exclusive butler, I guess. A butler seems nice. I guess it's settled then. Diablo's expression shifts into one of euphoria before quickly snapping back to his composed face, trying to hide the overwhelming joy he is feeling. He places a hand over his chest as he kneels down on one knee. Diablo, Diablo, that is my name. My heart is filled with deep emotions, my lord. I shall forever treasure this name. Holy shit, isn't this too much? What the fuck did I do? Why does it seem like getting demoted from a primordial demon to a fucking butler is one of the best things to happen in his several thousand-year-long life? I feel my magicules leave my body and flow into the now officially named Diablo. Unlike the other evolutions of my subordinates that happened overnight, Diablo's evolution began immediately. A sort of dark energy cocoon enveloped Diablo's body. After staying like that for several seconds, the cocoon cracks before shattering. The fragments glide through the air before dispersing into the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Diablo has no change in appearance aside from his outfit. Before, he wore something akin to a noble's clothing. Now, he is wearing a rather snazzy butler's outfit, his pitch black tuxedo matching well with his hair. In any case, his overall power increased through the naming process, so there you go. Diablo, still kneeling, continues to talk. Diablo, I pledge my eternal loyalty to you, my lord. Diablo seems like he's going to continue talking for a long time, so I quickly interrupt him. Rimuru, you don't need to call me lord. Just Monic, just Rimuru is fine. That damn game still haunts me. Diablo understood, Rimuru-sama. Ah, that name sounds like the chimes in the wind. It inspires me more to serve such a graceful and magnificent being such as you. But I'm a slime though. And seriously, I'm feeling a little weird, having all these compliments poured on me even though I didn't do anything to deserve it. Like really, what the fuck did I do? He's making me out to be some kind of fucking saint. Slam. Cheyenne, you understand, don't you? Holy fuck. Where did you come from? Cheyenne bursts through a random door like the fucking Kool-Aid man, nearly destroying the damn thing in the process. In her hands is a stack of paper. I think? Now that I think about it, where even am I? I look around to find myself in my office. Yes, I have an office that I use to deal with all the paperwork and stuff. And by I mean my clone. The office itself looks exactly like a medieval noble's workspace, with dark wood everywhere including my furniture and bookshelves which are lining every wall. Those books are purely decorative and are completely blank, by the way. Rimuru, what the hell are you doing here? I ask with genuine confusion. Cheyenne, my Rimuru senses were tingling and I felt my secretary position being threatened. Rimuru, but you never were my secretary though? Cheyenne, oh don't be silly, Rimuru-sama. Look, I've even organized your papers for you. She holds up the stack of destroyed papers with a proud and eager expression, seeking my praise. This is exactly why I don't want her as a secretary. She is a beautiful woman and she looks the part, but she is completely useless in all things outside of combat, in which she excels. However, Avalon is really peaceful, and we don't need to fight often. Because of this, she sought other paths for her to take. I should have brought her with me for the Charybdis issue. I helplessly sigh with a whatever smile as I walk up and pat Cheyenne's head. Rimuru, yeah, you did well. Although you didn't have to cut the paper with your sword. I don't know if she actually cut the paper with her sword, but knowing her, she probably did. I also choose to avoid mentioning the pieces of sentient food stuck on some of the pages as well. Regardless of how she acts, I can't get angry at her. She just wants to please me, but she doesn't know how to, and I don't want to punish her for that. Especially since she will never change unless I do something drastic. Besides, this is a problem for Clone Rimuru to deal with. Clone Rimuru, fuck you original Rimuru. I hear a voice in the background, but I ignore it. Cheyenne smiles brightly as I stroke her hair, completely blocking out my advice. Meanwhile, Diablo is standing to the side, nodding his head with sparkling eyes. Diablo, Rimuru-sama is such a benevolent being. Cheyenne immediately joins Diablo. Cheyenne, you understand. Rimuru-sama is so kind and warm. It makes me want to do even more for him. Please don't. Or rather, do what you want, it's not my problem. Clone Rimuru, fuck you. Cheyenne and Diablo end up being drawn into their own Rimuru-styled world. Deciding I should just let them be, what's the worst that could happen, I leave the room and close the door behind me with a small smile on my face. Really, I don't deserve these guys. I wonder how everyone else is doing too. I don't really interact with them as much and I feel a bit guilty. I should go and say hi. Meanwhile, Cheyenne and Diablo continue their talks about making a giant Rimuru statue made of pure gold and magisteel. Luckily, Clone Rimuru stops them. Clones really are a lazy man's best friend, as much as they might hate the original. Right, so I want to say hi to everyone, but who should I meet first? I wander through the streets of Avalon while thinking. Rimuru, I could meet Geld, or Kurobe, see how he's coming along. But in the end, I decided to just start off with Benimaru. And so, taking a left turn down a different street, I head over to where I'm pretty sure I can find the guy. A few minutes later, I arrive in an area where the normal citizens of Avalon become scarce, being replaced with more security guards instead. It's not like this is a heavily guarded area, it's just that this place is sort of the center of security of Avalon. Most ordinary people have no business here. I stand in the middle of a large opening. In the center is a fountain spouting crystal clear magic-filled water. Flower beds containing bright-colored flowers are placed here and there while the ground itself is paved in hexagonal slabs. As I walk around the fountain, I see a large building, around 30 stories tall. It has a sleek rounded design, covered completely in glass windows. It doesn't have a name, but everyone just calls it the security hub. I walk in through the automatic doors, past the reception area, and into the elevator, guided through universal sense, towards the familiar aura. Eventually, after going through several stories, the elevator doors open and a sort of command center comes into my view. It's the sort of thing you'd see in the command station of a spaceship in a sci-fi movie. In the center of it all stands a familiar figure clad in loose red clothes. Rimuru yo. Benimaru turns around, instant recognizing me as a smile paints his face. Benimaru Rimuru-sama. Rimuru, I feel like I haven't been interacting with many of you guys in a while. I thought I'd drop by and say hi. Benimaru, please don't say that. All of us take joy in serving you. Rimuru, that's no excuse, Benimaru. I walk up beside Benimaru and look out of the glass screen wall opposite the elevator I walked through. Through the glass, you can see a white room many times larger than the room I am currently in, about twice as large as a school gym in width, length and height. The room I am currently in is located in the top half of the bigger room, looking down on everything inside. Rimuru, so, what are you up to? Benimaru, training the troops. Benimaru explains simply. As I look out the window, I can see a cluster of humanoid monsters, all of them wearing a set of sleek silver-colored magisteel armor. There are hundreds of them there, all standing in line. Hobgoblins, high orcs, high ogres, and several dozen other species are scattered throughout the large room. I think I even see a Kate Sith in there. I also see Gabuda and Goblin Jeff too. What surprised me more is Hakuru standing at the very front of them all. Sensing my gaze, Hakuru shifts his eyes up to the glass screen, peering through it, easily meeting my eyes. I just nod with a smile while Hakuru closes his eyes and bows his head. Seeing the curiosity sparkling in my eyes, Benimaru presses a button on a panel to his left. Immediately after, the walls of the large white room shimmer. An illusion covers the walls, floor, and ceiling, simulating a forest with many trees. Ghost-like night spiders appear and the soldiers immediately break up into groups to deal with them. Rimuru, the simulation room is working nicely, it seems. The simulation room is something I made on a whim in passing. I'm glad to see it put to good use. A couple of hours later. Man, that was fun. Seeing all those helpless people getting chased by night spiders as they run for their lives was refreshing. I didn't get to talk much with Hakuru, but we see each other a lot during my swordsmanship training, so it's fine. Well, most of the conversation is let me live. New. Screaming and oh ho ho, you require more training if you are having trouble with just this level and shit, but that's a conversation, right? Now that I think about it, Yelm and his group should be returning to Avalon soon. Anyway, nearby the security hub lies the place where I can find Shina. To be exact, the place where she makes all her clothes is nearby. It's so she can deliver Benimaru's lunch box when he forgets and perhaps embarrass him in other ways while she's at it. I open the door and waltz right in. Rimuru, hello. Shina, Ah, Rimuru-sama. Shina looks up from her work and her expression brightens up the moment she notices me. She drops what she's doing and runs up to me. The other female hobgoblins, I'm not calling them fucking goblinas, it's a dumb name, that are working with Shina look up from their work before quickly looking down again and working about twice as hard, probably looking to impress me. It's not like they are vying for my attention. It's just that every monster in Avalon greatly respects me and seeks to serve me to their utmost efforts for some reason. As for the males, well, they're always working at 110% mostly because Shina is some sort of idol in Avalon and they seek to impress. Rimuru, I feel like I haven't been interacting with everyone as much lately, so I've come to say hello. If you wish, I can even stay and watch you work for a while. I calmly speak, but Shina is jumping around at this point. Shina, really? Then you can sit here, I'll quickly bring some snacks. She leads me to a stool next to the chair she was sitting on previously as she runs out of the room, presumably towards the kitchen. I just wryly smile. I guess some things can cause her to lose her composure, after all. Shina and I spent the rest of the time talking as I watch her weave together fabrics before using those fabrics to create more and more dresses, shirts, and other clothing. She's quite experienced too. Her speed is faster than any of the other hobgoblins here, but it doesn't draw from the beauty of it all as I watch her fingers glide across the fabric. It's quite enchanting. An hour later. Right, next. This time I don't bother walking and just use spatial ruler to teleport myself. Soai is quite far away, after all. I find myself deep in the Jura forest, but this area is cleared out slightly. I look up at a random tree and call out. Rimuru, your stealth skills have gotten better again, Soai. Suddenly, appearing on the branch of the tree I was just looking at, Soai appears like a blur. I knew he was there. It's all planned. Soai, your praise gives me joy, Rimuru-sama. He jumps down from the branch and lands on the ground, not making a sound as he moves. Appearing from random spots around the small clearing arrive Sauka and several other dragonids serving in the espionage unit under Soai. Rimuru, you guys are training? Sorry, I must have interrupted you. I apologetically smile towards Soai while scratching the back of my head. Soai, no, on the contrary, you immediately finding me shows I still have much to learn myself. No, I didn't know, cough. Rimuru, there's always someone better, no matter how high you climb, don't slack off. As long as you remember that, you'll be fine. Soai, I will take your words to heart. I spout out such bullshit like some wise sage while Soai bows as he places his hand over his chest, a small admiring smile on his face. Rimuru, then work hard, everyone. Make me proud. Not wanting to get in his way any longer, I teleport away after a few short words. Next? Who do I meet now? Boom. God damn it, Cheyenne. No, wait. It's probably not Cheyenne. She should still be in my office talking to Diablo about me, probably? Bang. A figure flies from the direction of the explosion, soaring over the buildings in a beautiful parabola before hitting the ground right next to me, cracking the paved floor. The figure is me. Or to be exact, Clone Rimuru. But Clone Rimuru should be in my office, with Diablo and Cheyenne. Rimuru, goddammit, Cheyenne. I can see some smoke rising in the distance now. It makes me wonder what the hell happened over there. A green blur rushes past me, heading right towards the explosion. Now, I would be a bit confused at what the hell that was, but I can instinctually tell that the figure is making beautiful JoJo poses as he runs, so that man can only be riggered. I bend down and grab Clone Rimuru by its collar. By now he's finally regained his senses. Being me, it immediately realizes my intentions. Clone Rimuru. Fuck you. I smirk at him. Rimuru, by a handsome devil like you? Any day. I feel like these conversations with my clone are familiar. Must be my imagination. I spin around a full 360 degrees and throw Clone Me into the distance in a discus throw. Clone Rimuru makes another beautiful parabola, completely streamlined. Its destination? The green posing blur. Clone Rimuru OOF. Riggered Ie? Rimuru-sama. Riggered flawlessly catches him and continues running in the direction of my office. I dust my hands off and place them on my hips. Rimuru, all in a day's work. Not that I work in the first place. I continue wandering around Avalon until I reach my next destination. This area is one of the more undeveloped areas of Avalon. This place still has half-finished buildings and loud construction noises. I continue walking until I find myself at the base of a half-finished skyscraper. The majority of the high orcs and high ogres working here are sitting down and eating, having their late lunch. Orc Jeff is with them too. However, there are a few high orcs still working hard, one of them being the man I'm looking for. Geld, the orc king that became the leader of the other orcs after the orc lord died, is working hard transporting many magisteel alloy beams to different areas. He's working as hard as the golems I supplied him, if not harder. This man is a workaholic. Rimuru, Geld. I shout out to the orc, causing him to stop in his tracks and look in my direction. His eyes widen as I wave my hand at him, causing him to carefully drop the items he is carrying and jog up to me. Rimuru, have lunch. Before he could say anything, I immediately make a simple lunch box with Ahura Mazda and hold it up. Geld Bebut dash. Rimuru, shush, I won't take an I refuse from you. Only I can do that. It's good to take a rest every now and again too. Geld carefully takes the bento from my hand and looks down at it before looking back up at me. Geld. As you wish, Rimuru-sama. He walks over to the rest of the high orcs and ogres who are already eating and I follow. We end up talking idly about how his day goes and the progress of Avalon's construction. This lasted for half an hour before Geld, the workaholic, couldn't stop fidgeting every half a minute, eager to work again. Rimuru, then I'll head off. Remember to take a break now and then, even if it's only for 5 minutes. I wave over my shoulder as I walk away. Geld holds the empty lunchbox I gave him and bows before turning around and going back to work. This time, with lighter steps. I will never understand that man and his love for work. I wryly smile to myself as I continue towards the next person I'm going to meet. I soon find myself in front of the sealed cave. It's not actually sealed, nor is it a cave at this point. It used to be the cave I was born in and the cave Veldora was sealed in. After that, it was transformed into a sort of farm for hippocute herbs and a home for Gabble and his dragonets. They evolved from lizard men, so the cave reminds them of the marshlands with the wetness, even if it's nearly pitch black. Luckily, they all have sense heat and a degraded magic sense, so they can get around just fine even without light. Though that was before, now there are lights everywhere. Vesta also has his laboratory here as well. He originally placed it here since it's so close to the growth site of the hippocute herbs, making it easier to research them, and it's an easily guarded place. Now, several months later, it looks nothing like a cave and looks more like an underground secret laboratory. I casually walk through the entrance while thinking about how both Gabble and Vesta are doing. Although Veldora is gone, the magicules in the atmosphere are still at a decently high level, enough to grow hippocute herbs that only grow in magicule-rich areas. This is because the generators throughout Avalon absorb the ambient magicules in the air created by the mass gathering of monsters. A portion of those absorbed magicules then gets transferred into the sealed cave. As I was thinking about the setup of the sealed cave, I walk around the corner into a large open area. In the middle of the large open area, I see Gabble standing in front of his men as they dance to a hippocute flower. All dragonwets 3, and in the forest of Jura, deep within, the one we all admire, looks so strong, revitalizing, and beautiful. Our brightly shining first star. Ah, Sir Gabble, Sir Gabble. The dragonet's ray of hope. Gabble, stop. Gabble jumps in and begins to lecture the dancing dragonets. Gabble, you are all lacking in love. How will you raise the hippocute herbs like this? Meanwhile, Vesta is standing to the side, nodding his head. Gabble, then, once again. From the top. Seeing all this happen, I turn around and leave. Not. Rimuru, you guys. They all flinch and turn to face me as I look at them with a stern gaze. I inhale ominously before I shout at them. Rimuru, your movements need to be more fluid. Your left foot needs to shift 3 centimeters to the right. And you need to bend down more at this part. And so I spent a couple of hours giving them all pointers. I even had Gabble and Vesta join them. Gabble, as expected of Rimuru-sama. He was able to improve our dance by so much. Vesta, indeed. Our Lord's wisdom knows no bounds. I feel like their head went a bit whack from their scar, but I'm not complaining. Later. Next, I find myself in front of Avalon's blacksmith. The soft rhythmic clanging of metal hitting against metal is strangely alluring, if it was only a single set or strikes. Clang 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 clancy lac. It sounds like a group of monkeys randomly hitting metal bars together. Wryly smiling to myself, I open the doors to the blacksmith and step in. The sounds of hammers hitting metal increase several times over as the entire building are soundproofed with suitable material and runes. Now that I opened the door and am inside, the soft ringing turned deafening. Of course, I don't care, since I'm a slime. I spot the people I came to see, and since they're busy with their own works, I don't say anything and walk up to them. I watch them as they hammer the piece of magisteel in front of them into a beautiful sharp silver blade. Kaijin made a short sword while Kurobe made another katana. Their current work is nothing serious, so they finished within an hour. Seeing them finish at the same time, I call out their names. Rimuru, Kurobe, Kaijin. I shout out the names of the 2 top blacksmiths, causing them to turn around and walk up to me while smiling. Rimuru, I thought I'd drop by and say hi. I say while writing some sound-isolating runes around us so they could hear me better. Kaijin, master, you don't need to worry about it. Kurobe, Kaijin Dano, is correct, we still see you occasionally, so it's no trouble. Rimuru, still, this time I'm just here to say hi. I've already gone to meet with the others, so let me just do this. Kurobe and Kaijin look towards each other before sighing with a defeated smile. This causes me to smile too. Rimuru, hey, I've watched you work and I think I have some pointers. Although I've never held a hammer in my life, Ahura Mazda has a neat trick that can help. You see, whenever I make something with Ahura Mazda, I gain knowledge of how it was made. For example, if I made a laptop with that skill, I would know how to make a laptop without that skill as well. And so, although I'm definitely not a blacksmith, after creating Harp and Yamato, my theoretical knowledge is very vast. And so, I sit down and talk about metal, alloys, hammer techniques, and things like that. We also talked about our daily lives, but it was mostly about hitting metal. I leave the blacksmith and look towards the sky. It is currently nighttime and the stars and moon are glowing brightly. I smile to myself, glad that I took the time to meet with all of my subordinates. I walk through Avalon with a smile on my face, heading towards Trainee's bar, to meet her as well as Ilya, Mikoto, and Maline. Rimuru. I should do this more often. Name, Rimuru. Race, Origin Slime. Protection, Crest of Space. Title, Highest Tier Spirit, Leader of the Monsters, Oniai-chan, King of Avalon, Master of Headpats, Procrastinator King, the Nutcracker. Manas, Iliasville. Ultimate Skills, Beelzebub, Lord of Gluttony, Ahura Mazda, Lord of Creation, Scathach, Lord of Runes. Unique Skills, Spatial Ruler. Intrinsic Skills, Infinite Regeneration, Universal Shapeshift, Universal Sense, Enhanced Replication, Universal Thread. Extra Skills, Lord's Ambition, Thought Communication, Control Natural Elements, Control Magic, Control Gravity. Resistances, Cancel Pain, Resist Melee Attack, Cancel Natural Elements, Cancel Ailments, Resist Spiritual Attack, Resist Holy/Demonic Attack. Equipment, Yamato, Raphael, Skill Orb, Limiter Ring. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon at https://www.patreon.com/Kayashin. I tend to polls that decide important plot stuff in my P at Trian. Many thanks to my awesome patrons. Wilnet Duverne. Yami Tancho. Ben Phillips. If you liked the content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll stay here until next time.